You know when you hear a few notes of a song and it transports you to a different time in your life? I know if I listen to any grunge bands such as Nirvana or Soundgarden, I'll be transported back to high school. Or if I listen to Twin Atlantic, I'll be reminded of my first years of college. I feel like this song from the Welcome to the N.H.K soundtrack will now always be associated with the time I was stuck at home during these last few months. I feel like this song perfectly represents the melancholic isolation I've been experiencing during this lockdown. When I listen to this song, I remember Sato, and I start looking at myself and realize that I've started to regress into a hikikomori somewhat. Obviously not to the extent of Sato, but I've noticed some parallels. When the lockdown began, I took time off from work, and I've been loving all this freedom I've gained. I can finally read all the manga I've bought over the years, I can finish long-running television series, and I can play and enjoy video games at a leisurely pace. But most importantly, I've been able to work on my YouTube videos. During these last few months, I've done more for this channel than I did all of last year. I finally had the time and energy to sit down and write out a script and record and edit, and I feel so lucky that I was given this opportunity to exclusively work on my channel for over 3 months. I'm proud of the work and videos I was able to complete, but I'm starting to feel that energy and enthusiasm start to drain as I'm stuck in this apartment alone. I'm reminded of the times of my life where I wasn't working, and I was just trying to get through every day without feeling guilty that I wasn't doing anything productive with my life. I think a lot of NEETs can relate to the feeling of watching an anime or playing a video game, and you just feel like, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be trying to find a job or better myself. But then you don't do anything about it, and you're just stuck in this endless cycle of self-pity and anxiety. I'm lucky that I knew throughout these months that I would be returning to my old job, so I was able to enjoy this time off. However, I would still feel guilty every day, because I knew I should be working on a new YouTube video and making the best of all this free time. And now recently I've been told that I'll be working from home starting this week, and I'm worried. I'm worried that work will engulf all my time and energy again, and I'll lose my momentum. It's so easy to get trapped by work and use it as a crutch to not further your own ambitions. I found it funny that during this time, I was a creator just like Sato. I was making videos or drawing comics like crazy during my first month off, and then there was a steady decline as the months progressed. I think this is natural for most people, as doing the same things tend to get boring, and there will be shifts in how much motivation you'll have. But I think that guilt of not living up to your potential is key in order for you to get better. To those who are NEETs or hikikomoris, hold on to that guilt, as you can use it to escape your situation. As long as you always have this idea that I need to change, you'll hopefully make that change. As soon as that guilt is gone, you'll be stuck. An aspect that I think contributes to this lack of motivation I've been feeling is due to me being stuck in my apartment with the lack of human interaction. I haven't seen my friends in months, and I only voice chat with them maybe once a month on Discord. I've seen my family a few times, and that's been nice, but it's definitely not enough. I'm reminded of Sato alone in his apartment, stuck with his anime figure, and it perfectly reflects my own surroundings. All these Namis staring down at me. This apartment has become a safe haven for me that I want to leave, but also don't want to leave. I'd be lying if I said the idea of physically going back to work didn't fill me with some anxiety. I've become so accustomed to never wearing a shirt, and not having to deal with people at all. The only person I talk to is an old lady that gives me hand sanitizer when I go buy groceries. I know if I leave this apartment, I'm leaving the pseudo-utopia I've created, but I understand that I can't stay hidden in my apartment forever. One of the most relatable moments in Welcome to the N.H.K is when Sato thinks about his senpai and reminisces about high school. I've definitely been doing that a lot recently, since this year is my 10th year high school anniversary, which blows my mind. I can't believe it's been that long, and when I look back, so much has actually happened. During these months, I've been very nostalgic. I've been remembering all the hilarious times I had with my friends over the years, and it's a bit depressing. We're all getting older, we don't really hang out anymore, and it's a sad realization that those times are pretty much over. Everyone has their own lives now, and sometimes our paths will cross, but it won't be like it was. The funny thing is that my hair is the longest it's been since high school, so it's like I'm regressing back to that time. I thought Welcome to the N.H.K was going to be an anime that I watched and would forget about after a few months, but I'm surprised to see that it continues to be relevant a year after I've watched it. I look back on it so fondly, and if you haven't watched it, I recommend it if you feel like you have no motivation to do anything with your life, and I definitely recommend it to NEETs and hikikomoris. It's very relatable and makes you feel like you're not the only person who's going through this experience. So this has been a small, personal video I wanted to make, something to look back on and reflect upon once life starts to return back to normal. I want to remember this time, and I'm happy that I was able to use Welcome to the N.H.K as a reference to understand my own feelings. Let me know how you've been dealing with life over the past few months, and if any of the things I discussed relate to you. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, join the Discord, and I'll do my best to keep making videos even when I feel like I have no motivation. Thank you, everyone.